Hey guys, meteorologist Doug Hetty. I hope you're having a great Monday so far. I'm sorry I haven't gotten you guys a video in a while. My father-in-law, he had a massive heart attack over the weekend, massive stroke too. So it's been kind of touch and go for him, and we've been in and out of the hospital. So um, positive vibes, prayers to Kurt Kowals, of course. But that's why I haven't had a chance to get you guys a video. But of course, we're going to do that today. So what we're going to do, very high severe threat today across the Central Plains. We're going to do a weather question, and then we're just going to talk about the severe weather threat as we get into later on today. Hope you had a great weekend. I don't know why my voice is a little hoarse. I'm not sure. All right. So let's jump into this. This is a Weather 2020 video, of course. I'll be at KOAM TV tonight, and we'll be covering all the severe weather. If we do stream, which sounds extremely likely, we'll be streaming on the KOAM YouTube. I'll make sure to post a link on my Facebook, the KOAM Facebook, and let you guys know when we will be doing that later on today. But we don't really have a severe threat till after about 6 o'clock across the region. Also today, I'm going to show you a little bit of the new global predictor, which is out, and you can actually buy it now. I'll go over that here at the end. We'll cover severe weather first. All right, let's jump into this. First off, we had the Joplin tornado last week, last Thursday. National Weather Service called it a landspout. A landspout is a tornado. It's just a tornado that doesn't form from a mesocycling, or like in a sense, a supercell. Technically, the tornado that we had last Thursday was a tornado. It wasn't even it was not what I consider a landspout. I'll be real honest. I think the National Weather Service said that just because they missed the warning. I mean, they called it very late. They didn't pick up on it, and it is what it is. But so I know it was a surprise for a lot of people, but just so you guys know, if you ever hear landspout again, a landspout is a tornado. It's just a different type of tornado. It doesn't come from quite as strong of a thunderstorm. All right, look at this. So, of course, let me make that bigger. Extremely high risk for severe weather today. So we always use level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we zoom in, this pink here, this is a level 5. That means intense tornadoes this afternoon, long track tornadoes, probably EF3 or stronger tornadoes. So the most potent area for tornadic activity is Oklahoma City, which they're used to it, up to Stillwater, up to Ponca City, and on the south side of Wichita. So this is the pink. All right, let's look at the red, guys. So this is level 4 out of 5, which is still a very high threat. Wichita, all the way down to Lawton, Wichita Falls, up through Tulsa. So Tulsa's under that. Bartlesville, Nowata, Independence, Parsons, Chanute, Yates Center. So the western side of my viewing area is under a level 4 for very strong, intense, long track tornadoes. Now, level 3 is going to be the orange here. This goes southern parts of Nebraska through Kansas City, Topeka, Lawrence, Salina, and then we go all the way down Wichita Falls, Admore, McAllister, over toward Fort Smith, northwest Arkansas, Fayetteville, Bentonville, Jay Grove, Pineville, Joplin, Neosho, Carthage, even all the way over to Springfield. So a level 3 out of 5 means our tornado threat's still very high, but the more intense tornadoes should occur back into the pink and the red. And then as these storms track a little farther east, we're going to switch more to a very intense wind threat. But if you live in the orange, you still have at least a moderate tornado threat. And then in the yellow is going to be a level 2 severe weather threat. So if we look across Missouri on this, we're looking from Trenton, Columbia, Jeff City, even barely St. Louis, West Plains, all the way down to Russellville, and then all the way down on the north side of the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. All right, so not much is going on out there right now, but what's going to happen is we have a dry line out across western Kansas. Thunderstorms will get going out across western Kansas early this afternoon, and then track into Nebraska. But the big guys will get going across the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas and then drive east later on today. But right now we're pretty quiet, but look at this big upper level wave. So this is right on target with the pattern, the LRC. In fact, let me show you this. Okay, so here is the global predictor, and you can actually sign up for this now, but we're going to have our app that comes out in about a week. If you do go ahead and sign up for this, I think it's $5.99 a month, but you get your long range forecast anywhere you want to go in the entire world. It takes the LRC model, the model that Gary Lezak and I have developed over years, 30 years. He found it in the late 80s. I've been working on it since the late 90s. And it plugs it in anywhere into an algorithm. So like if we look at this storm system, so like we know the highest risk for severe weather is near Oklahoma City. So if we go out to June, right here you see June 20th, June 21st, June 22nd. That's when this storm system returns. So the model will tell you when we're going to get these big storm systems like that. So it's pretty cool. All right, let's get back to severe weather. All right, let's go into this today. Let me take you through time. Let's see who texted me. Okay, let's go through time here. Thunderstorms really get moving. So here's 3 p.m. We're looking out across central Kansas, west of Wichita, so east of Dodge City. And this haze, this is about the time they will start going severe. And look at these intense storms. So now we're looking Concordia on the west side of the Wichita metro. And then look how these guys are going now all the way down through western Oklahoma. Now, ahead of it, in the warm sector, you can see a few scattered thunderstorms. Pittsburgh, Joplin, Monette, Bentonville, Fort Smith. And a few of these guys, we may get a severe thunderstorm warning that tries to pop up. But the big dudes are going to hang back west near the dry line. Let's continue through the evening. Look at these explosive storms. So we're looking from Omaha. So here's about 7 or 8 p.m. Omaha down to Rulo, Nebraska, Brad-Ganaway land. Just west of Topeka. These will most likely be wind makers. Very intense winds, 70, 80 miles per hour. And there are going to be a few embedded tornadoes. Let's go a little bit farther south. Emporia. Now you start seeing, so this is, I'm using the HER model. It's starting to pick up on some of the more intense purples here. These are going to be embedded supercells, most likely having tornadoes. So getting into the I-35 corridor. Southeast Kansas now, 7, 8 p.m. starting to get into the action. So we're talking Chautauqua County, Elk County. And then intense supercells. These guys, now remember, a model gives you an idea of what's going to happen. But if you look at this and you say, oh, okay, so there's going to be a supercell just south of Ponca City at 8 p.m. That is not how it works. You can see the model just updated and it shifted everything back. It's because every run, it gives you a new idea, but they're never exact. It just gives you an idea. All right, so because the model updated, it looks pretty similar. Northeastern Kansas all the way down to southeastern Kansas. So my area is Yates Center, Chanute, Iola, Independence. You guys will get into the action probably about 8 p.m. That's when things get going. You can still see the thunderstorms ahead of it that may be a little bit hail makers, most likely not tornado makers. These guys are going to be the big tornado makers down through north central Oklahoma. All right, let's continue through the evening. Thunderstorms. Now we are talking, this is probably 9 p.m., 10 p.m., a very intense line driving through St. Joe, driving through the Kansas City metro. These are most likely going to be wind makers, 70, 80 miles per hour, but there could be a few embedded tornadoes within this line. This line continues all the way down through southeastern Kansas. Now, once you get into southeastern Kansas, these will have embedded stronger tornadoes. So this is something we really need to watch as we get through the evening. Once you get into Oklahoma, see how a few cells want to try to pop in the warm sector here? We're looking in southern Delaware County, over toward Muskogee. These could be tornado makers moving into northwest Arkansas. So we need to watch that. And then very intense line all the way back to Oklahoma City. And most likely is going to have tornadoes within this line. So the supercells kind of merge, but very, very intense. All right, let's continue on. Let's go to about midnight, 1 a.m. All right, so the line in Missouri is now starting to weaken. So we're looking from Kirksville, Macon, down toward Columbia, Jeff City. So Sedalia, Truman Lake, this will all start to weaken at this time. However, once you get down towards Stockton, Mount Vernon, Joplin, Neosho, all very intense storms still. These should still be severe. You can see embedded supercells out ahead of the line. Southwest Missouri at this time, so this is kind of midnight, 1 a.m. We are looking at most likely we're going to have winds 60 to 70 miles per hour, maybe 80. And we're also going to have some embedded tornadoes. Getting into northwest Arkansas now, very intense wind. We're going to have bow echoes, meaning 70, 80 mile per hour winds. And we're going to have embedded tornadoes within that line. And then kind of trailing back to the east of Oklahoma City. All right, let's continue through the night. It's going to be a long night. Very intense storms continue. So now we're looking, the severe threat is pushing east to Columbia, Jeff City, Rolla, Springfield, Branson all into it. Northwest Arkansas, you're rocking pretty hard all the way down to the west side of Fort Smith into the River Valley. This is probably 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is a all-night severe weather. The air mass is very unstable. So it's one of those severe weather events that don't just go away once the sun goes away. The low-level jet just continues to feed these storms all night long. All right, let's continue. Finally, we get these babies out of here early tomorrow morning, working through southeastern parts of Missouri, and then we're pretty much done. But obviously, very intense day, severe threat starting in western Kansas, western Oklahoma by 2, 3, 4 p.m., getting into Kansas City, Joplin, Tulsa by 8, 9, 10 p.m., getting into Springfield by midnight. So very intense, very long night. Just make sure you stay very weather aware today, of course. This is a pretty hyped event, so just pay attention. Of course, I'll be at KOAM News tonight. Lindsey Gaffney and I will assist me as well, so we're going to be pounding that out together, making sure everybody is on the safe side. All right, guys, I'll keep you updated. Have a great Monday.